Okay, so what we're doing today is setting up a brooder pen for some ducks that we just got and a few guineas. We have 4 ducks and 4 guineas that we're going to be putting in here. And currently we have 5 duck eggs in the incubator, but only 2 are looking extremely promising. So we wanted to get some more. That way when these, hopefully at least 2 do hatch, then we're not, you know, afraid of losing one of those and stuck with just 1 duck. We don't want it to be lonely. So we're gonna set up this brooder pen. The first thing we did was took out all the stuff from this poultry kit that we got at our local supply store. In this kit there was the light, there's a water pan or a watering dish, there's a feeder, there's another one of the longer feeders. And so we got all of these things put together, and I've got them over here. So we have our one of our waterers, and this is just while the ducks are small. We have the feeder, and of course we have larger ones, but just these small for this purpose, for the brooder. This we're gonna put in there with water so that the ducks can wash their bills and stick their heads in these holes and maybe be a little bit cleaner, because ducks could be very messy. We also have some metal trays. I just want to kind of play with these and see. I'm thinking if we maybe put the water in here, we can kind of keep the rest of the pen a little bit cleaner, a little drier with these little ducklings. So I'm gonna play around with this and see how it works out, and we'll let you know if this ends up helping. And I also have just some wood to kind of put the water up on for these ducks also. And then we just have like a little play center thing for them to hop around on, mostly the guineas. Okay, so we're gonna get started. The first thing we're gonna do in here, and a lot of people, we've seen a lot of people do setups where they put like grates or something in the bottom because of the water to try to help keep it more dry. We decided to go with this tub because we're actually gonna put this in a permanent duck structure that we're currently building. And this is a Rubbermaid agricultural tub, and this one is a 50-gallon. In the permanent duck pen that we're building, no duck run, this will actually come off the back side and be like a covered little swim place for them. So we're gonna reuse this again in the future, and just thought it would be good to use it for the brooder at this time. Okay, so I'm gonna start with pine shavings first on the bottom. I don't want to open this top too much because I don't want the whole bag to come out, so just a little at a time. And they don't need a really thick blade, but you do want to make sure that you cover the whole bottom. You're watching me figure this out. And we've got our food dish here. Now the food that we're gonna put in here, when you're putting together for ducks, you have to make sure that you have niacin added to your crumble. So when you start with crumbles, this one is an actual duck crumble. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. This is just Nature's Best organic feed, organic duck crumbles. So these ones do have niacin in them. But you are able to use just a regular flock raiser, or any regular chicken poultry crumble. You just have to make sure that with ducks that you're adding niacin. And so the way that you do that is with brewer's yeast, and you can find that at every grocery store. So you would add brewer's yeast to your crumbles if it's not specifically for ducks. We're gonna start with this one that does have the niacin in it. So this is what we're gonna be putting into our brooder here. Okay, so we got our feeder. And I'm gonna put the feeder here. So they'll be able to get to everything. They'll have plenty of room to move around. And we'll give them this over here. And the guineas will probably play with that the most. Chickens like those. I'm not sure if the ducks will use that at all, but we'll let you know. Moving forward, after your ducks come off of crumbles, you can move to a duck specific food, or you can feed your regular layer feed that you would feed to any other poultry or to chickens. Some duck owners add brewer's yeast throughout the duck's life if they're using just regular chicken layer feed, and some don't. So I guess it's just a preference once they get older. But as ducklings, for growth and for their legs mostly, for their legs to form correctly, they really need that niacin. So you really want to make sure that you're getting that into their feed when they're ducklings. So I'm going to introduce these little ducklings first. This one. And it just said mixed, so we have no idea what kind of ducks they are. But we have this one here. And like I said, this little feeder, this would be good for their little beaks, so they can put their head in there. And I just want to show them where the water is. So knows where the water is. And we actually changed this up a little bit, so it just could not fit both trays. And we're thinking that out of this feeder, the ducks are gonna like the water better in here because they can really get their whole head in. So we just saw him climb over right here, or her. And then I just wanna show them where the food is so that they know the food's there. And then I'm gonna show them where the worm is. So there's one. Okay, so again, there's another one. I'm gonna just show them where the water is. And they're pretty quick to figure it out. And then show them where this water is. And then show them where the food is. And then just show them where to get warm.
We've got a guinea.
This is a guinea. Oh, so I'm going to show the guinea the water. There's the water. And there's the food. And there's some warm. And this this one. I love this one. So it's all black. And then has black feet and yellow, black and yellow on the feet. So cute. Okay, so I'm gonna show them that. And they're not having any trouble. It doesn't seem like they're having any difficulty jumping over that at all, so that's good. So that's them. Here's your little setup. We'll let you know how this works. I'm thinking this water right here, I'm thinking that this water right here, I'm gonna end up grabbing maybe a pie pan from upstairs, and I can set it in the pie pan, and then they can climb into that, and you know, the excess water that drips can go into that pan. You could already see just them being in here coming into this water. It is for sure helping having that in a pan, because the bottom of this pan is pretty wet already. So I think that's a good way to minimize at least a little bit of the water soiling everything, getting everywhere. And this one's mostly focused on ducks, but we also have some guineas in here, so they'll be hopping along together.
Look at the guineas, closing their eyes, rocking back and forth. They're freezing.